Hey, welcome back everybody. You're tuning in to howtoplaystock.com. My name is Kepley. Today is August 31st, 2017, and thanks for tuning in. Today's video, I just wanted to cover the investing strategy when it comes to stocks. This is more directed towards and geared towards income investing. Okay, now it's taking a look at individual companies, and I just found some interesting stats on some of these Fortune 500 companies that are out there doing international business when it comes to like their sales and revenue. And I wanted to touch on these interesting facts about these companies because if you're somebody who's playing stocks and let's say you want to invest in individual companies, there's a couple things you need to do first before you even consider putting money into these companies, okay? And this is not so much financial advice, it's just my suggestion based on what I like to do. And the first is know your circle of interest, okay? So if you're going to invest in individual companies, go with companies that you're interested in because chances are if you have to keep track of their financial statements and their numbers and their earning reports and stuff like that, chances are you're going to be much more interested to look at that kind of stuff if you're interested in the company, okay? As opposed to, say investing in a company that you're not interested in because it's boring to look at the numbers and go through the reports and stuff like that. And so in most cases, you probably won't do that. And then that sets you up for higher risk because I can tell you right now, if you're investing in individual companies, the risk is extremely high when it comes to internal management operations, financial sheets, accounting practices, stuff like that. And the last thing you want to do is invest in a company that might possibly go bankrupt later on just because they don't have an edge on their competition or whatever it might be. Okay, so stay in your circle of interest. Once you got that figured out though, the next thing that I would suggest, and again, this is just my suggestions, I'm not a financial planner, I'm not a stockbroker or anything like that, so this is merely based on what I like to do, is I like to go with companies who've got international exposure. Okay, so in other words, they're not just located here in the United States. And the reason why I like this better is because it reduces your risk when it comes to, say, geopolitical tensions that might rise, whether it be economic, militarily, whatever. You reduce your risk because you're exposed to other countries, okay? So with that in mind, I'm going to read some of the stats that I found here on a few of these different companies to maybe give you some helpful tips here. If you're looking at maybe investing in individual companies and using the dividends as income or possibly reinvesting the dividends so that you can acquire more compounding interest, okay? This was taken from Edward Jones, and they are an investment firm. It's on the S&P 500 company sales, okay? And I'm just reading off the notes here because I want to make sure I get everything right and I get everything covered. Let's start with Nike, all right? Nike, an interesting fact here, 2/3 of sales are outside the U.S. Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut sells more in China than they do in the United States. GM, General Motors, sells more cars in China than in the U.S. as well. Coca-Cola, they've got 300 different brands in 200 countries, which generates about 80% of the income that they make outside the U.S. Microsoft, they translate their operating system into more than 100 different languages. Okay, so with that in mind, they have to be exposed to almost every single country in the entire world when it comes to selling their products. Again, reduces your risk when it comes to those geopolitical tensions like I was telling you. So if one country experiences economic problems, more than likely it's not going to affect Microsoft too much, okay? Black & Veatch, they're a global engineering firm. They have offices that are located in Australia, Canada, Chile, China, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Nepal, Puerto Rico, Russia, Singapore, Taiwan, Thailand, Turkey, the United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, United States and Vietnam. So if you're somebody who's interested in engineering firms, you want to take a look at investing in a couple, individual engineering firms. There's an interesting fact for you on Black and Beach. So those are just some things to consider, and some interesting facts I had on some individual companies that you could maybe start looking at if you're looking at investing in individual companies for generating income through their dividend, okay? And reducing your risk and exposure when it comes to geopolitical tensions. That's all I have for today. These are today's investors' investing tips. You're tuning in to howtoplaystock.com. And remember, guys, income is the outcome, okay? I will talk to you later.